Alrighty then. Successful Indie Author 5-Minute Focus, episode 461, Tropes. Here's Stanley. Had his walk, had his breakfast. Alright. Trope. What does trope mean? It's a use of a metaphor, but it's also, as far as a literary device, it's a recurring theme. A recurring theme. And this is when readers of your genre they read that genre because of that recurring theme. People read Conan the Barbarian because he's going to fight somebody, he's going to win, it's going to be epic, and at the end he's going to get the princess in the tower. All of that's very consistent in the sword and sorcery type tropes. You don't have alien invasions, you don't have obelisks on the moon, and those other things. Those are separate tropes for separate stories. When you combine too many, then you lose focus, then the readers get disappointed and disgusted and move on. So, read books in your genre. The genre that you're trying to write in, make sure you read plenty of books in it, and understand, here is the recurring, what theme recurs? That's a trope. If it's the hero's journey, you have that inciting incident where something sends the hero where he or she has to do something epic in order to get the world back on track, to save the world. That's a recurring trope in the hero's journey. Look for how authors treat the topic. How do they deal with this trope from story to story, and not the same author? Read a bunch of different authors and understand, here's where they're trying to direct you. Here's where they hit this high point, which is what the readers expect to see. And then how they deal with that's going to be unique. But then again, you're going to have yet another high point. You're going to have a fight against the big baddie, and then it moves on, and then you're going to have the end game where probably another fight, maybe a bigger badder enemy, and then the win and all the good things that come with winning that fight. In romance, it's the happily ever after. You have to have that. If at the end of the story they get a divorce, that's not a romance. That's a different story. Just understand, this is how if you're marketing to readers who read romance, you have to have that happily ever after, happy for now. You have to. If you don't, then it's not romance. Then you have to target a different readership who doesn't expect this happily ever after. And that's the expectations. If you don't work within the reader expectations, then you're going to suffer. Your books are going to suffer, and you're not going to sell many. Horror. You've got to scare people. And how you scare people, well, that's going to be a unique element, but you still have to scare people. You can't have the HOA come in and issue notices on your house, the homeowners association, and then that's horrific. Oh my God, the horror of the HOA getting into my business. That's a different story. That's vigilante justice is what comes to mind there, but that's completely different. Find those tropes that are in your genre, and all it has to be is your genre is the biggest group of readers that will like your story. When you read those stories, think about what you read. Think about how the readers will internalize what they've read. And then when you do your book, when you write your story, just make sure you catch those recurring themes. They can be uniquely done, however, they still need to be there. Look deeper into the story and ask, what if? What if it went this way? What if we didn't have this? Well, then would it still be in that genre? Every book I've read in this genre has this one thing. But I'm not going to put that in mine because mine's unique and I'm going to do something different. Recurring themes. This is the tropes. This is what the readers expect. You don't give the readers what they expect. They're moving on. And you don't want them to move on. You want them to finish and then move on to your next book. That's what you really want. Keep the number of tropes manageable. Newer authors have a tendency to have a lifetime of ideas, and when they write their book, they want to get them all in that one book. Don't do that. Try to avoid that. Find the tropes for the story you're writing, and then keep it to a manageable number. Make sure you hit those recurring themes, And then the other unique stuff. Don't add in so much that it becomes a cumbersome, a disjointed mess of a story. Keep the story true. Keep the plot on track with those recurring themes happening about when they're supposed to. The inciting incident fairly close up front, because that's what sends your protagonist on the journey, that a changed journey, making them do something different. You're a wizard, Harry. I love that. That's a great inciting incident, because from that point forward, he knows exactly where he needs to go, except he doesn't. And that's what makes it unique. All right, there you go. Tropes. They're kind of required because genre equals marketing, and tropes are what readers expect. So you got to be your own gatekeeper and manage those in order to deliver to reader expectations if you're going to market to these readers. If you don't know what tropes there are, and you don't know what genre you're in, you're going to have a really, really hard time marketing. You've got to chicken and egg, right? You've got to have understand what readers will like your book even before you start writing the book. And if you change during the writing, that's fine, as long as you know that you've changed, and then you market to the right group of people and you deliver to that group's expectations. All right. Peace, fellow humans.